I mentioned Tulsi Gabbard. It's getting harder and harder to stomach how she's refusing to criticize her boss. Maybe she should, maybe she shouldn't. She evaded this question about 4 or 5 times. Basically, she was being asked what her advice, what her recommendation was, not whose decision it is. And she kept evading the question by pretending it was about, whose decision it is.
Provided the inputs that make up this annual threat assessment.
You won't answer the question.
It is the nature of the imminent threat that the president has to make that determination based on a collection and volume of information and intelligence that he is provided with.
You're here to be timely, objective, and independent of political considerations.
Exactly what I'm doing.
No, you're evading a question because to provide a candid response to the committee would contradict a statement from the White House.
That was hard to watch, I'll just tell you. And what came right before that exchange is why it was hard to watch, because you had the senator saying, he goes, okay, tell me if I got this right. It was their weapons program was completely obliterated in June of 2025. Yes or no? Yes. They have not made, your assessment is that they have not made any effort to rebuild that process since that time. Yes or no? Yes. That's correct. That has not been restarted. Okay, if it was obliterated and they have made no move to restart it, it is therefore physically impossible for there to be an imminent nuclear threat, that they are 1 week, 2 weeks, any number of months away when they haven't even repaired the systems from last year. So it is by definition impossible for there to have been an imminent nuclear threat. And for some reason, she just can't say that. She acknowledged the first 2 facts, and then she just couldn't say this after them. She could have said, this is my assessment was they weren't. But I just laid out the information, and the president himself gets to make that call because that's accurate. She doesn't get to make the call.
Right.
Her job is to give evidence and an analysis based on the evidence and the facts on the ground. Here's my thought, but obviously you get to do whatever you want. That would have been fair. That probably also would have gotten her fired. And I think she knew that. So she was afraid to answer the question honestly, but everyone can see it. So I don't think it's ultimately going to help her out. And it will not surprise me at all if she does get fired anyway. And,
I can see what the dilemma is. You don't want to give up the chance of having some influence on one hand. On the other hand, you should stick up for principle.
There's no influence left to have. I mean, just look at what happened earlier in the term here, where President, I think it was prior to the June operation, where President Trump was asked in the Air Force One that your director of national intelligence said that there is no nuclear weapons program, that they're not starting one, and he said, I don't care what she says. I say that there is. And so he went on, and then obviously he took action with that. So he had already sidelined her, and then she was able to get back into his good graces. Well, now then with this one, you see, because there's no doubt that her and Joe Kent were really good, and they were closer than Tulsi and I were. So if for him to leave, they had to have a lot of conversations, and she had to have had the same idea and chose not to. But there's nothing to gain by not leaving, because she's almost, I think, likely to get canned anyway. And in any case, everybody sees this, man. People who are watching that exchange and seeing all this stuff, it's obvious what the truth is, that she just won't say it. So she's lost all credibility. She's not going to influence Trump in anything.
Furthermore, her written testimony also contradicts what he said. This is a little clip that I took out when I was reading it yesterday. She said it was obliterated. That's their line. There has been no effort since then to try to rebuild their enrichment capability. So she said it in her written testimony.